What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Best Bet for UFC Louisville. We have Nassourdine Imavov going against Cannonier. We have a 14-fight card here, and yeah, it's a small panel today. It's me, and it is my guy TB. Everybody else was busy. They're either at the card. I think somebody was headed to Florida. Somebody was at a birthday party. Yeah, lots of stuff going on. So we'll have a full panel back next week, but today it's me and TV. So TV, what is up? You looking forward to UFC Louisville? We got 14 fights to work with here.
Yeah, I think one of the most exciting things about this card, you got so many closely lined fights that there's plenty to choose from. So if there's anything where you feel like you're getting a good read on it, I encourage you to fire away. I mean, I'm hoping you're not going lower than 50% on your picks. So as long as the lines are close enough and you can narrow it down to a couple comfortable spots, but we also got a couple good props for you cooking today, and I think we're going to see a lot of fun fights in front of the crowd, not in the Apex. Shout out my guy Guru. I know he's thrilled about that. So I'm actually pretty excited for how this card might play out. But, yeah, I get it. Not the biggest names, a few lower-level talents.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this card. I think from a fan perspective, there's a lot of fun fights. I think we're going to get some violence. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I don't have a ton of action on this card, which is going to be tricky on this show because I'm going to have to force some things. We need to come up with 10 bets on 10 fights. We do get 4 passes, which is nice. So a lot of fights to pass on, but if I could pass on 10 fights on this card, I probably would. So yeah, it'll be interesting. We'll see what we come up with. Before we get started, if you guys could like the video, get those likes up, also subscribe to the channel. I want to say thank you guys for 25K subscribers. Hit that this morning. And I feel like I'll be at 100K by the time I am 40 years old. So in about 15 years. So that's the goal. 100K subs within the next 15 years would be awesome. So let's hit up the chat before we get into it here. Dixon, I'm not bringing up that comment, but I will bring up Elijah's comment. Let's make some cash today, fellas. Let's do it. Let's do it. Is there really 23 fights on this card? It feels like it, but there are only 14. We got Sean in the building. What is up, Sean? I'm betting the house on Tomar tonight. Get some help. I'm about to crumb. Get some help. Just get some help.
Yeah, please.
We got Jackie in the building. What is up, Jackie? We got Cody Brundage's worst or biggest hater here. It's Dirk. Every stream, and he's saying something mean about Cody Brundage. I don't know what Cody Brundage did, Dirk, but come on. I mean, Cody's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He cashed me a round 1 prop against Jacob Malkoon when he brutally knocked him out in the first round. We got Blumdog. What is up? Happy fight day to you as well. We got D's saying, let's go. Dustin Stoltzfus better move. He might get knocked out. That is certainly true. And by the way, I'm trying to cook up a new intro. Obviously, I can't use can't move, get knocked out anymore, which sucks. But I'm cooking something up, and hopefully I'll have that within the next couple of weeks. We have Raw Dog. Let's go. Cody, more Cody Brundage talk. I don't know what's going on here, but I bet my daughter's college fund on Puja. Oh my gosh, Dirk. Get some serious help. Get some serious.
My God.
Yeah, that is messed up. Happy tickles. I don't know what the hell that means, Eric, but happy tickles to you as well. We got Lou Betcha. Just remember, these aren't unified rules. They are Western Australian left-handed heritage MMA rules. Heck yeah. Shout out to Lou Betcha. Hopefully, I think he has some horses going today, so hopefully you're hitting some big on the horses, Lou. I know you've been killing it. We got Tom saying, what's a Brady sketchy card? That indeed. We got Sniper with the $9.99. Appreciate you, Sniper. Congrats on the 25K. Definitely deserve 30K up next. Let's do it. Let's keep pushing. And, yeah, appreciate you, Sniper, for the dono and the kind words. Liang Not tribute. I feel like I'd be the only one that would enjoy that, though. I feel like nobody else would enjoy that besides me and maybe a handful of people. But yes, shout out to Sniper. We got Cutie Beanie Brady is on my screen, and Happy's are tickling. Love to hear it. That's how you know it's Saturday, and that's how you know we have some fights to talk about. And we're going to kick it off with Rayan Amanda going against Puja Tomar. We have Rayan Amanda opening up -180, currently -310. We have Puja Tomar opening up +155, currently +260. TV, I'm going to let you kick this one off. What are you liking for the first fight of the card?
Violence. Shout out to Mushroom MMA. I know he's probably going to find his way over at some point, but I like violence here. Watching the tape back on Tomar, was mildly impressed with like the aggression that she throws into her striking, and was mildly impressed with the ability she has to dive and find herself like balls deep or whatever deep into submissions all the time. Like she's just so good at it. Even against fighters that she has no business trying to take down, sometimes she's trying to take down people. So I think Amanda very live for a finish, and Tomar, I mean, if she's getting a chance to strike from distance for 15 minutes, which isn't going to happen, but I don't know, she could have a chance to finish the fight. So plus 108 on FanDuel. I was happy to take the fight doesn't go the distance.
Yeah, this is a weird card. You know, it's a weird card when I'm betting violence in both of the strawweight fights, which are very, very scary. So I'm right there with you. I like violence as well. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive and go with Rayon Amanda inside the distance at plus 155. But yeah, on the feet, I think both fighters do throw with bad intentions. Both fighters have power on the feet. But I think when this fight hits the mat, and I think it will, when the fight hits the mat, I think it should be Amanda all day here. You know, from what we've seen of Tomar off her back, it hasn't looked great. She's been finishing all 4 of her losses, and Amanda, in theory, should have a massive, massive advantage on the ground. So yeah, I'm going Rayon Amanda inside the distance, plus 155. Do I feel great about it? No, not really. I mean, this is probably one of the lowest level fights in UFC history, but hoping to cash a nice plus money ticket there. So we're kind of on the same wavelength there. We're thinking violence in this first strawweight fight. Can't believe I have money on this one, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. We got X saying this is a sketchy card. That's how you know it's going to be a good night of fights. Yeah, I think these fights are going to be fun, especially this main card is going to be really good as well. What's going on, Brady? Let's get this bread. Let's get it. Let's get it. Hopefully, the judges score these fights with common sense and not idiots that they have been lately. Yeah, UFC 302 is probably the worst judged scorecards I've ever seen in my entire life. And I feel like we say that every week, but no, it's 302 is horrible. 49, 46 for Paulo Costa. Like, what are some of these judges watching out there? I can't stand some of these judges. All right. Would you rather have to watch more Puja tape or get a sensual massage from Jessica Andrade? I'll take the massage. The massage. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good question.
I was stumped. You guys might have thought I froze, but I did not freeze.
Given your internet issues in the past here, I wasn't sure.
You never know.
Yeah.
I should just sat there for 5 minutes because it was a tough question. It was a very tough question, but I guess I'm getting a sensual massage from Jessica Andrade, one of my favorite female fighters. Main event ends in split plus 400. We will be for sure to talk about that. We got Ted. What's good, boys? Who's losing their ass hair in Kentucky? I think there's going to be a lot of ass hair in the octagon after tonight. I think a lot of asses are going to get shaved clean, and I think some ass hair might even leave the ass in this first fight of the night as well with the finish here. We got one saying, come on, let's go. Larry saying, let's go, Brady, let's go, Larry. We got Uncle Wheezy in the building. Oi, what is up, Uncle Wheezy? But what did I do? Did I pull up? I don't think anybody said. I don't think I pulled up anything bad, Dixon. What you said was it was questionable. But I think we should just move on to the next fight. We have Taylor Lapis going against Cody Stamann. We have Taylor Lapis opened up minus 175, currently minus 266. Cody Stamann opened up plus 145, currently plus 226. So I'm going to give a play that me and Weezy talked about on our show Wednesday on probability, and it actually has moved quite a bit, but I still like it. I think it still hits, and that is going to be the Cody Stamann plus 3.5 point spread, which is kind of scary with these judges, but I do think, this fight is a lot closer than this line does indicate. I like Lapis to win the fight. I think his takedown defense and get-up game is good enough to keep it standing. I think he's going to be the better striker. He's going to have like a 9-inch reach advantage, but Cody Stamann, he's no bum. I think he could go out there and win a round. I think these rounds could be competitive. So yeah, plus 3.5 point spread. It was minus 115 earlier in the week, but it's now best price minus 150. I still think there's value there. Give me Cody Stamann to probably lose the fight, but at least win one round in this matchup. So give me the Cody Stamann plus 3.5 point spread, minus 150. TB, what are you liking in this fight here?
Yeah, I tend to think similarly. I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a real size discrepancy between the guys, but there's a big reach advantage. It's just I've seen Lapis not use this reach advantage against, I mean, like Kalen Loughran's standing inside the pocket all day. He's facing takedowns all afternoon from Farid Basharat. And I think Stamann's got to understand what the game plan is. So plus 215, I'm like, well, who does Cody Stamann actually finish in the UFC? And that answer is Eddie Wineland. So I'm like, okay, is he fighting Eddie Wineland? Okay, he's not. So Cody Stamann by decision at plus 350, I'm going to go there for the bet on this fight. I think that there's a good enough chance that he gets off his wrestling and that's going to slow down the kickboxing of Lapis. I don't think his hands are that great once you get inside a boxing range. And I think Cody could actually be the better boxer in this spot. Now, his defense leaves a little bit to be desired, but he's also not facing Said Nurmagomedov's ninja choke this time. So while Lapis is a little bit annoying to hold down, and he does a really good job athletically of like not letting his butt hit the ground and quickly scrambling back to the feet when he gets the opportunity, but he doesn't necessarily ever separate or keep guys from getting to his hips. So let's go Cody Stamann by decision plus 350 on DraftKings.
All right, yeah, that's you're basically getting his money line at plus 350 because, like you said, he is not finishing anybody outside of poor Eddie Wineland, who you just can't take a shot at this point. So yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that, but I'm on the plus 3.5. You are on the Stamann by decision. Lapis is a lock, but the line is way gone. Yeah, I didn't mind him like minus 180, but I mean, I just don't see how he pays off a minus 275 to minus 300 price tag. Like, that's just, he's not a guy that typically goes out there and finishes. He's not typically a guy that puts a stamp on a lot of these rounds, on these fights. So I think it could be competitive, but I think Lapis ultimately does get the win. But who knows what these crooked, corrupt judges are going to think? I mean, a judge last week scored the fight for Mitch Raposo, and he only landed like 5 strikes. So yeah, I don't know. Over is a lock for the Stamann Lapis fight. I think the over hits. It is minus 400 though, but it could be a parlay piece potentially. Cody has a 5'4" wingspan. Dude was forsaken at birth. Yeah, the dude has really, really short arms. I think some of the shortest arms in the UFC. Dixon like in the ends and split. I like the ends and split. Probably not the best line on it though. I think they might be on it, but yeah, I think ends and split makes sense. This fight definitely goes the full distance. I'd be surprised if there was a finish in this one. And then, we got Sal D'Amato's scorecard saying, I can honestly see that, to be honest, probably a terrible decision either way. And that terrible decision might be coming from you, Mr. Sal D'Amato. I mean, you've had some very terrible decisions in the past. But, well, you have been better, though. You have been a little bit better. Dave Torelli does need to get some help, though. Yeah, and Lapis has never been finished, so I took a small poke on Stamann by decision, plus 350. Yeah, basically the money line, and we'll see what these crooked, corrupt, blind, drunk, high judges think for this one. And then Wheezy 2024 agreed. We need Wheezy as president. I think
that's the only thing that could bring this country together.
I think Wheezy would do an incredible job. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. All right, let's move on to the next fight. Another strawweight fight here. We got Eduardo Moura going against Denise Gomes. We have Moura sitting as a minus 203 favorite, open at minus 115, and Gomes opened at minus 115, currently plus 173. So the play I'm going to give here is going to be, I don't know, there's a lot of things that stick out. First and foremost, I like violence in this fight. It is another strawweight fight, but both these fighters are very violent. We've seen Eduardo Moura get on top. She has a submission game, very nasty ground and pound. And Denise Gomes, for a strawweight, hits like a truck. Like, her power is no joke. And even on the ground, she's threatening with submissions. And yeah, I think somebody does get finished here. So I think the under is decent. It's looks like best price minus 108. And I think I'm going to go with that. But what I will say is these Denise Gomes finish props are very juicy this week in a fight where I think it does finish, in a fight where I've kind of been flopping back and forth on this fight all week. And I did not like the weight miss for Moura. You know, she missed weight by, I think, like a half a pound, which you don't typically like to see that. If you're going to miss weight, I mean, pull an Andre Lima and don't even try. Come in 5 pounds overweight. But she did try, and that has to be a tough weight cut for her. So I'm worried about the cardio of Moura. I think these late Gomes finish props could be in play. I think these Gomes finish props in general could be in play. But I'm going to take the under 2.5 rounds here, minus 108, and just looking for another strawweight finish in this one. TB, what are you liking in this fight?
You know, I'm not liking anything in this fight. I'm really trying to not place the degenerate play here. I do see where your analysis comes in. Just wish I was getting a plus money. Like, you're not getting plus money on it, right?
No, you were
Yeah.
earlier in the week, but it's gotten
Exactly.
smashed.
So I missed it. And you know what? I wasn't too late to the party on like the Tomar fight one, so I was happy to take it. But you know what happens if Moura just sits on top of her for 2 rounds, wins those 2? It's a really close round 3 where she nearly dies, and then we're sitting there at a disappointing decision where Moura was fraud checked but didn't lose, and decisions like plus 250, so it's not even good enough really from what I'm projecting here. So I was just like, you know what? I got 4 passes. Let's use one.
Yeah, use them. No shame in that. And yeah, I do agree. If this fight does go the distance, I think it was going to be a Moura decision, just like a takedown control-based decision where Denise Gomes probably tough enough to survive on the mat. Maybe there's a crooked, corrupt referee in there and just doesn't stop the fight. We've seen it happen. Maybe Keith Peterson's in there and he's drunk. He's smoking cigarettes and maybe he doesn't stop the fight. So yeah, I could definitely see that. Now that is the one worry. That is the worry in the back of my head is a Moura decision win where it's so close to being stopped, but it doesn't get stopped. So we'll know. And I always know, TB. I see when Chris Tione's in there, I'm like, yes, my under's hitting. When Keith Peterson's in there, I rip up the ticket instantly. I mean, if Keith Peterson's in there, damn well the fight's going over because he's not stopping anything, especially when drunk. So yeah, I'm taking the under. You're taking one of your 4 passes here. Gomes sub props are nasty. They are very nasty. She is now a brown belt. She has 0 subs on her record, but she's attempted 4 in the UFC. So we shall see. Brady, my motto: betting Brazilians, lesbian Brazilians in the UFC is plus EV, and neck tattoos are very plus EV. And Denise Gomes has one hell of a neck tattoo on her there. Gomes sub props are going crazy. I think it was plus 2,000 at one point. I'm not sure if it's still there. Denise has to be the side. I would agree. I mean, you can't lay minus 200 on Moura. We just don't know a ton about her. She looks incredible, but she looks incredible against Montserrat Ruiz. Gomes by KO. Fight does not start round 3 plus 110. And Gomes is too tiny. Yep, she is going to be at a size disadvantage here. That's for sure. Brady, when does the UFC start? Why am I seeing a 1, 2, 3 start time? It starts in about an hour and 42 minutes there. Yes, 5 Eastern. Keith Peterson is currently at the bar watching this. Yeah, they need to do something about that. They need to keep Keith Peterson away from the bars, and not serve that guy, especially when he's supposed to be on the job. So, but yeah, I thought Keith Peterson turned a corner. Keith Peterson was doing a really good job for a couple weeks span, maybe a couple months. And then there was that Chase Hooper Slava Borshev fight where it's like, what are you doing, Keith Peterson? What are you doing? So I think he might have relapsed and he's back on the alcohol. So they need to search him for a flask and don't let him in there with that flask and all that bourbon. He's a big bourbon guy, I think, Keith Peterson. Yeah, he relapsed. Yeah, it's sad, but hey, we're here to support him as members of the MMA community. We gotta step up and we gotta stick by Keith Peterson. Motivate him to not drink. I mean, nothing's wrong with drinking every once in a while, but not drink on the job. I don't care if you drink, but on the job, it's just don't drink on the job. And yeah, Keith is back on the wagon. That's certainly what it looks like. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Daniel Marcos going against John Castaneda. I'm going to kick this one off, TB. I'm kind of surprised by this line movement, and I'm actually picking Marcos to win. I just think it's going to be a very close and competitive fight. And I think, there are some cases to be made for the underdog here in Castaneda. He's fought the much better competition, has a wrestling background. I think he's a lot more tested, a lot more proven. I ended up picking Marcos. I think he will be able to stuff the takedowns, do the better work on the feet, but minus 140 in a fight that I think is going to play out close and competitive. Not going to get there. I thought about maybe some late Marcos. I think both guys late could be interesting as well, but I think I'm ultimately going to use my first pass on this one. TB, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take the sexy Mexi side of things. Seeing it at not quite plus money earlier in the week, I was a little more hesitant, but I'm getting a plus 114 now out here on FanDuel. So I'm happy to fire away on that type of prop. I feel like the most disappointing part about Sexy Mexi is a guy that's going to hurt him to the body and just be a powerful, dangerous striker. And I think Marcos is more attritional, more about like building up, but he also doesn't have like the cardio from what I've seen to really keep up like a high output over a long time against someone that can mix up their game. And, the Davey Grant fight is as close as it gets, and he's not even really mixing up any wrestling. I think Sexy Mexi here, he's got some clinch. He's got some wrestling chops. He's probably got the grappling advantage. He's probably the better boxer. Marcos, I think, he's going to be the better kicker here. He might be the faster guy. But I think overall, Mexi's got a lot of the advantages here. So I was going to play with some overs to get to plus money. But now I could just get plus money in general. So I'll take it. Let's do a little Castaneda money line.
Castaneda money line at plus 120, best price out there. So
nice.
I'm using up my first pass. I have 3 left. You have 3 passes left. TB looking at the Castaneda money line. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think this is one of the more underrated fights on this card. I think this fight's going to be a banger here. So looking forward to it. Just not looking forward to betting it personally. Get Brady to 100 likes. Let's do it. Let's do it. We should be able to get 100. It's a decent card. I mean, let's do it for Puja Tomar. If not me, do it for Puja Tomar. Is going for crazy props worth it when Peterson refs them? I wish we knew who was reffing fights, because if Peterson shows up, the fight is going over unless somebody dies. That's the only time he's really stopping a fight. Marcos' record is fraudulent. Davey Grant won that fight. Yeah, super close fight. I think I did score it for Davey Grant, but I think it could have went either way. What do you think about the Holland finish last week with the arm not breaking? I loved it because I had a big bet on Holland inside the distance, and my night pretty much came down to that. I don't know. I mean, I guess he could have let it keep going. It looked nasty, though. I mean, if I was in that position, I probably would have stopped it, too. TB, any thoughts on that Mikhail Olszewski arm situation? Because it did look bad.
Yeah, I'll say this. I mean, it's the same story as like a Jamal Hill. Like, everyone was like, oh, my God, how did the ref not see his arm like popped out? And just because it's dislocated doesn't mean that it's fractured. So, yeah, he doesn't have a fractured arm at this point, but that bad boy was dislocated. Like, how long do you want to see that flopping around for in the octagon? Like, there is a reason, like, in sanctioned fights, you have to have, like, a limit to where you're willing to go. And, like, they're like, listen, if a joint dislocates, you are supposed to stop it for a submission. That's why it's a technical submission. So, it didn't break, but he's probably got some ligament damage in there. Come on. Exactly. Thank you, Guru. You gotta protect the fighters. And Olszewski is way too stupid to protect himself, so you have to do it for him, right? Like, he's never actually tapped out. Oh, he never tapped out from being choked out. Like, yeah, you have to stop him once the guy goes unconscious, because otherwise he's going to be dead. You have to stop it before they completely rip his arm off, because then he won't have an arm anymore. Like, what the fuck do you guys want to see? This isn't the Coliseum anymore. Like, there are some rules, okay? There's a reason we don't see oil checks every weekend.
We got to have some rules. We got to have some rules in there. I agree. I was happy with the stoppage. I was very happy with the stoppage personally. Let's see. Doughboy saying, who's more handsome, Denise Gomes or Josiane Nunez? That is the easiest question I've ever gotten. It is Josiane Nunez. Come up with a better question next time, Doughboy. That was way too easy. Let's see. Honestly, not impressed with Sexy Mexi. I'm kind of impressed with that. He kind of exceeded my expectations. When he first made his debut against Nathaniel Wood, I'm like, maybe this guy's not UFC level, but he is. And I'm kind of impressed with him. Let's see what else we got. If he dies, he dies. Yes. JJ saying spitting facts. Let's see. Stop the fight. I can't count the amount of times I've said that. That's for sure. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Andrea Lee going against Montana De La Rosa. We have Andrea Lee opening up minus 115, currently minus 159. Montana De La Rosa opening up as a minus 115, currently plus 139. TB, what do you got for this one?
Oh, boy, yeah. I feel like Andrea Lee here, I mean, I think that more recently she's faced the tougher competition, and she's kind of surprised me. Like, I love to talk shit about Andrea KKK Lee, bringing back Nazi Germany, one boyfriend at a time. So, but ultimately here, like, watching her back against Macy Barber and all that, I'm like, you know what? Like, she does enough to still be a bit functional in there, and I think she does it more well-rounded than Montana De La Rosa. So, in the greasiest possible way, I mean, let's take Lee by decision. I was going to say Lee and over 8.5 minutes, same game parlay on DraftKings. Their same game parlays are a little bit broken sometimes, so you can get plus 100 on that if you don't want to take it to go all the way to decision. But let's just say Andrew Lee by decision at plus 120. I think that there's also a good chance this could be a splitty and it could be sketchy, but yeah. I'm going to take Lee by decision here. I took her money line when it was minus 125, and I'll probably find a way to regret it, but I think it's the place to go.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use up my second pass here. Nothing wrong with passing. But yeah, there are a lot of fights I do want to pass on, and this is probably one of them. I don't know. I feel like this fight could be close. I feel like it's going to be one of those fights where, De La Rosa, she's going to get some takedowns. Lee is going to be the better striker. And then it's going to go 15 as well. The fight goes to decision minus 350. I think a split is very likely. Actually, do you know what the split prop is, actually? If it's like plus 250 or better, I'm just going to do that because I don't.
That's a great question. Let's see here. Because I've really been eyeing that all week, but I locked in on Andrea for whatever dumb reason I decided. Let's see here. Split decision. I think they're
plus 250. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, there it is. It's not bad.
I'll do that. Yeah, Lee fight ends split plus 250. You can't go wrong with that. This is like the most split decision type fight I think I've ever seen. So I'll just keep it at that. Are the judges going to score control? Are the judges going to score damage? Are the judges even watching the fight? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think this fight is definitely going to decision. I'd be surprised if we got a finish, and then I think we might get some weird scorecards. Yeah, give me the split. Can't go wrong with the split in this fight, and I'll keep it at that. Plus 250 is not terrible when the fight goes like minus 350. All right. Let's see. Bet the over in a parlay. Yeah, don't mind the over in a parlay. Don't mind it. We got Gamblestein in the building. Hello, what is up? What is up? Plus 250. Don't mind it. I'm never betting a split ever again. Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the most success on splits. But if this fight isn't a split, then something's wrong. Maybe a draw. Maybe we should do the plus 8,000 draw. Just win the whole competition. Maybe. De La Rosa sub is juicy. I think it's like plus 1,000, something like that. Any fight that's a split goes unanimous, and any fight unanimous ends up being a split, right? I know, it's terrible. Strickland fight was a split decision. Somehow, some way it was. So we'll see. Moving on. We have Brad Katona going against Jesse Butler. Brad Katona opened up minus 600, currently minus 650. Jesse Butler opened up plus 425, currently plus 475. And I will use my pass here. I got to, because I'm not going to give out Brad Katona minus 650. I'm not going to give out Brad Katona by decision minus 160. And I was looking at maybe like some late props here, but counting on Brad Katona to finish anybody just seems like not the best move there. So yeah, this is a pass for me. I think Brad Katona wins. I'm very confident he wins, but I can't find anything on this fight. TB, were you able to find anything in this Brad Katona fight?
No, not at all. I felt like there could be a chance that he could finish Butler given the extreme weight cut down from 155 to 135, but the same time, like, I'm going to put money on Brad Katona to finish someone, so I'm okay sitting out this one.
Yeah, nothing's wrong with passing on Brad Katona fights, that's for sure. So I have 2 passes left. You have 2 passes left. But yeah, we'll see if Brad Katona can cover this minus 650. I never thought I'd see the day. Brad Katona is minus 650. Never thought I'd see the day. Let's see. They do those split decisions when everybody bets on unanimous decision. That's what it seems like. We got Winnipeg stand up, Brad inside the distance. Yeah, I was looking at it, man. I was looking at that maybe the 2-3. I don't know. They're not enticing enough for me to put some money on them. We got Elo, really great show and host watching from Australia. Cheers to you as well. Shout out for hanging out, man. Katona takedowns over. I think they have it at maybe 2.5. If you had to bet, it has to be dog or pass. Yeah, you can't lay minus 650 on Brad Katona. But at the same time, it's hard to put any money on Jesse Butler to win a UFC fight. So nothing's wrong with passing. Did you guys already cover Eduardo Moura? Yes, TB is passing on that fight. I went with the under 2.5 rounds, about a pick 'em. Oilers or Panthers? Guessing that's hockey. Is that hockey? And I don't know. Panthers. Hard pass. Why bother taping someone who won't be on the roster in 3 months? Agreed. All right. Yeah, NHL. Yeah, I've never watched a hockey game. And Guru taking the Oilers. I'm taking the Panthers. Everybody's saying Oilers. Maybe it's a hot take then. Maybe it's a hot take. We'll see. All right, let's move on to this next fight. I'm really looking forward to this fight. We have Carlos Prates going against Charles Radtke. We have some late linemen, it looks like. So Prates opened at minus 350, currently minus 200. Charles Radtke opened up plus 275. He is currently plus 170. TB, I'll let you kick us off. What are you liking in this fight here?
You know, I've gone back and forth a bunch on this one. I feel like both guys are kind of made for each other from a weakness perspective, and it's kind of like, can Chuck Buffalo withstand the teep kicks to the body and overcome the straight shots down the middle to get into where he wants to be, clinch, boxing, takedown range? Because if it does end up there, I think Prates is going to not look as good. Where I could totally see Prates finishing the fight before, Radtke gets to those positions that he wants to be. And I think both guys can have a little bit of success in both areas, like Mitch Ramirez landing that takedown on Prates. But seeing he's training with fighting nerds, he's got some pretty nice butterfly reversals on the ground. He's going to be the bigger guy. I don't think it's like one takedown and, complete fish out of water. But I also just don't trust this guy as a minus 200. I feel like Radtke's kind of the flavor of the week. And I don't know, something's telling me not to do it. So I'm going to pick Prates as my official pick. But I mean, he could even win like a disgusting decision without being able to finish him. So as far as a bet here, I'm going to pass on this one.
All right, passing on the Prates fight. For me, I'm actually really liking violence in this fight. I think these guys are going to swing dicks, and I think they're going to see who has the bigger dick in the octagon. I think this is going to look a little bit different than the Giles fight. Like, Giles is somebody who kind of wants to stick on the outside, use that jab, whereas Radtke, he needs to get on the inside here. He can't stay at range with Prates, and I think that's going to open up some big shots from both guys. Prates like a 37% striking defense thus far. Prates has a ton of power. Radtke has a ton of power as well. And then also Radtke, I think he has a potential grappling path here if he chooses to use it. But I mostly think these guys are going to stand and strike, and I think somebody is getting served, and I think somebody's getting slapped. So I'm taking the fight won't start round 3, minus 129. I think somebody's going down probably before 1.5, but give me that extra 2.5 minutes there. Give me somebody to get served and somebody to get their ass shaved within these first 10 minutes there. So TB taking a pass on this one. You have one left. I'm taking the fight won't start round 3. Looking for them to swing dicks. Let's see. Which over do you like more, the De La Rosa fight or the Stamann? About the same for me. Any strong take there? Strong lean? I think you're muted or you're frozen. Or you're thinking.
Well, so which over do I like more, the Rosa fight or Stamann fight? I mean, I would say throw them both in a parlay. They're probably the same amount of happening,
Yeah.
And you're not gonna you can't win money betting either of them separately. So why not just put them together? I mean, if you're trying to be that degenerate.
Yeah, why not? Brady, come to New York, and TB and I will take you to a hockey game. Okay. What hockey teams in New York?
Rangers.
Yeah, I know nothing about
Devils,
hockey.
New Jersey
the Devils. Okay.
There's options.
Okay. Maybe
the
that
Islanders
could be.
Are out there. You never know.
Dang, a lot going on out there. Okay.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. Radtke is 100% getting slept here. We shall see. Radtke lost to Austin Hubbard. Did he? When was this? A while ago? I didn't hear that. But if he did, shame on him. Shame on him if that is true. There's no way he lost to Austin Hubbard. But
I'm going to Tapology right now because I'm like, did I miss this or
maybe as an amateur? I don't know. But that's very embarrassing.
9-3, so.
Prates is a very efficient striker. He's a very good striker.
Oh my God, he did lose to Austin Hubbard.
When was this?
Back when he was 2-0 in 2018. Lost a decision.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
that's not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
Best MMA.
The body shot KO by Montalvo.
Yeah, that wasn't good either. Best MMA betting channel, hands down. Appreciate you. Thanks, Brady. We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you, Tim, for stopping by and the kind words. Let's see. Brady, I'm playing Radtke split decision just like Roman Kopylov and Cesar Almeida. Yeah, I think if it does go to decision, it could be very competitive. Prates isn't much of a minute winner. He's not high volume. He's not going to win the grappling. So yeah, I don't hate that. We got Elo Mate saying, "I'm new here, just sub. Appreciate you, Elo Mate, for subbing. Means a lot. Means a lot." I thought it was Kurt Hollabaugh. I guess it was Austin Hubbard, which is even worse. Even worse. And yep, plus 1,200 for that. All right. Yeah, if it goes to decision, I think that probably hits Dixon. I struggle to see these guys going 15. All right, let's move on to the next fight. This is the featured prelim. It is Ludovic Klein going against Thiago Moises. TB, I'll kick this one to you because I have no idea what I'm betting here yet. What are you liking for this feature prelim?
Yeah, this is my final pass. As I was breaking down the numbers of things, like it seemed like a clear Klein spot. And it looks like he's the bigger guy. I'm just nervous that, sometimes he doesn't stand out so much on the feet from distance. And then he kind of has been relying on some takedowns here and there. So it's Guru is in the chat getting flagrant with it, my chronic combat partner. I wouldn't go as far to say that, like, I think Moises should be favored here. I'm just, like, curious to find out what level of wrestle grappling Klein actually has here. Because I think, like, we haven't really seen the type of competition that's going to make us, like, really know if he can handle this test. So with my final pass, I think instead of taking the chalk on the slight favorite, I'm willing to learn a lesson.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. So TB using up his final pass. For me, if I had 5 or 6 passes on this show, I would be passing on this one. I'm going to go with the fight doesn't go decision, minus 110, just because I could see a path for both guys to finish. On the feet, I think Klein's going to have a big advantage. We've seen Moises crumble before. We've seen Moises quit. We've seen him get knocked out before. And then on the ground, I think Moises is going to have a big advantage. Klein is a black belt in his own right, but Moises is just going to be the much, much, much better grappler. So I think it could be Moises by sub. I think it could be Klein by KO. But I think violence is at a pick'em. It's not the worst look here. Not something I love. Again, if I had an extra pass, I'd probably pass. But that's really the only thing I can come up with this fight here. So yeah, taking the fight doesn't get a decision. Hopefully somebody gets finished there. Elijah one liking the Moises sub. Yeah, the Moises sub props are juicy. The Klein KO props, they're pretty juicy as well. Moises should be favored. Yeah, he's fought the much better competition, and maybe he'll look like it. I think whoever wins this fight is going to look like a decent sized favorite. Whoever is able to implement that their game plan. That being said, Moises by sub, definitely on the table. I think the featured prelim goes under 2.5. I'm right there with you. I'm kind of upset because me and Weezy were looking at the under 2.5 at plus 150 on Sunday. And we waited like a split second, and the line got smashed down to went from plus 155 to like plus 100 in like the span of less than an hour. Moises is the vet that he is. Moises can get a sub, and Klein is easy to finish. If Klein can get a finish, if he keeps it standing, agree. That's why I don't mind that fight doesn't go. I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. And I don't mind that. Moises sub 2-3 plus 700. I don't mind that at all. Klein has been subbed in the third round by one Nate Landwehr. All right. Yeah, so that was the featured prelim there. Let's talk some bets here. So I'm going to do a quick recap and make sure everything's correct here. We got myself taking Rayan Amanda inside the distance, plus 155. The Cody Stamann plus 3.5 point spread, minus 150. The Moura Gomes under 2.5, minus 108. Passing on the Marcos fight. Taking the Lee fight ends in split decision, plus 250. Passing on the Katona fight, taking the Prates fight won't start round 3, minus 129. Then the Klein Moises fight doesn't go to decision, minus 110. TB, you're taking the Amanda fight, doesn't go to decision, plus 108. Stamann decision, plus 350. Passing on the Moura fight, you're taking John Castaneda, money line, plus 120. Andrea Lee decision, plus 120. Passing on the Katona fight, the Prates fight, and the Klein fight. TB, does all that look right? I think you're muted, though. Good. Looks
yes,
good.
Sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. It looks great.
All right. TB has no passes left. I have 2 passes left. Let's move on to this main card. If you guys could, let's get those likes up. Let's try to get to 100 likes by the time we get out of here. All right. We have Miguel Baeza going against Punahele Sorano. We got Miguel Baeza opening up minus 200, currently minus 200. Puna Sorano opening up plus 160, currently plus 170. In my opinion, one of the sketchiest fights on this card. But TB, you have to bet the entire main card. So what are you betting for this fight here?
Yeah, Miguel Baeza is probably the more well-rounded striker and has the better offensive grappling, I'd say here. Puna, he's still the smaller guy moving down to 170 here. And I don't think he does anything in volume that I could really trust if this fight were to extend out. And, I think the way that he goes about getting his power, he's kind of a big swinger. One punch, not really like a combination type of guy when it comes to how he goes for stuff. And a lot of his fights have actually been kind of going over in general. So I think he's coming in like solid shape here. And I don't think Baeza is necessarily the biggest like one hitter quitter. I think it's Baeza and over 1.5. But even better than that, plus 140. You can get Baeza round 3 decision at plus 230. So that's where I'm going to go with this one. Getting a little risky. They think fight ends inside the distance. I think we're headed to sketchy town because I don't think either guy's the most prolific finisher necessarily.
What was the round 3 decision? Plus 230, you said?
Plus 230 for Miguel Baeza.
All right, plus 230 for Miguel Baeza. Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of think if Baeza is winning this fight, it's either maybe a sub, but even then, I think it could be a decision as well. Puna is very durable. I know he got finished by Kopylov in the second round. Got finished by Dustin. I mean, Dustin Stoltzfus shouldn't be finishing you, but that wasn't the best look. But yeah, I think overall he's a durable guy, though. For me, nothing's sticking out, man. I don't trust either of these guys whatsoever. Baeza's on a 3-fight skid, got knocked out by Andre Fiallo in his last loss, 2.5-year layoff. I have no idea where this guy's at this point. And then Puna is just a round 1 KO or bust type guy. He does have 2 wins outside the first round. One came against Stoltzfus in like the first minute of the second round where Dolce's like rib popped out. And then the other was against Jamie Pickett, which shouldn't count. And I'm going to try to make a petition to get that win removed off his record because all wins against Jamie Pickett, they should not count. So yeah, I think this guy's round 1 or bust, especially with the weight cut down to welterweight here. And that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Punahele Soriano, KO1 plus 700. I think that's his win condition. I don't see Puna having any success out of these first 5 minutes. So we'll see if he can clip Miguel Baeza. If Andre Fiallo can do it, I think Puna is going to have some opportunities. But if I had another pass, I would be passing on this one as well. But looking for that big plus 700 number on Puna to get a knockout here. Hate this fight from a betting perspective, but as a fan, I'm looking forward to seeing what the heck happens in this one. It's intriguing. It's a very intriguing fight. Soriano looked weird down a weight class. Yeah, he looks a lot different down a weight class. Looks like he lost a lot of muscle. He used to be like a big giant dude. Baeza loses, he gets cut. I think he wins. Baeza loses, he gets cut. Oh, okay. There's no period there. Baeza loses. I'm sorry. Baeza
So I think he's saying like if he were to lose, he would get cut, but he thinks he wins.
Baeza loses, he gets cut. If Baeza loses, he gets cut, and then there should be a comma.
But he thinks Baeza wins. Exactly. There should be a comma. Gamblestein is really messing up here with his grammar.
It's okay. I mean,
because he's taking Baeza late sub or decision, in my opinion, later on.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So he's saying that if he loses, he gets cut, but he also thinks he wins. Okay.
Right. Like he thinks his back's against the wall.
Okay. I got you now. Yeah, that hurt. It hurt. Yeah. It seriously hurt. It did hurt. It hurt. I need I might need to step out of the room to recover from that. Once TB breaks down this neck, I'm going to step out of the room for a second. Yeah. What were we talking? Oh, we were doing the comments here. Let's see. No, I'm not upset. I mean, I was. Oh, you forgot the word if. It's okay. And yes, I'm a broken man. So yeah, after that, I think we can move on to the next fight. Oh my gosh, we got Julian Marquez going against Zach Reese. Another fight I'm looking forward to. Another sketchy fight for sure, but we got Julian Marquez opening up plus 160, currently minus 130. Zach Reese opening up minus 200, currently plus 110. TB, do a unnecessarily longer breakdown here because I need to step out of the room, get some fresh air from what just happened. Okay, be right back.
Good news. I mean, you guys have got actually the doppelganger of Julian Marquez in the building right now. So I can tell you with great, great confidence, I know a lot about what's going on inside the Julian Marquez game plan. I mean, ultimately here, Zach Reese seems to be big time fraud. That's all I've taken away is that he kind of capitalizes on the misgivings of others rather than actually doing anything necessarily great himself. I mean, don't get me wrong. He can play from guard a bit. He can do some triangle chokes. He could try for an armbar submission. I just don't think any of that stuff is going to be good enough to get Julian Marquez out of there. I don't think it's the best version of Julian Marquez we're ever going to get. But remember, in this post USADA world, I mean, anything is possible, right? And I just don't think that anything about Zach Reese really stands out. Whereas I've seen Julian Marquez have some success. You know, Dana White's Contender Series showing us what he could do against a guy like Phil Hawes before his chin issues were really real. I mean, Marquez might have been the one to actually cause some of those chin problems with that crazy head kick knockout. And then against, Coconut Bombs, Maki Pitolo. Yeah, I get I see him like have a struggle the entire fight. And let's be real, Zach Reese is not just going to offensively wrestle for 15 minutes and have success, but even in the time where someone was giving him trouble, he's able to pull out that beautiful submission victory. But ultimately, instead of getting too cute, I don't think there's a way that Zach Reese finds a way to survive to the scorecard. So while I bet Julian Marquez money line before it moved too much, I'm going to go ahead and give out Julian Marquez inside the distance at plus 110 as the bet for this fight.
All right. Sorry, I had to take a moment. So Julian Marquez inside the distance, plus 110, and I'm going with the same exact thing. So that I think it's the first time the show we had the same exact bet. And yeah, that's the same for me here. Yeah, it's weird though, man. I mean, I haven't seen many people on Zach. I don't think I've seen one person on Zach Reese this week, and I feel like Marquez should be a much bigger favorite. I wonder if like a stunt could potentially be in play here. Like, I really think Marquez should beat this guy. I think he's a much better striker. He's fought the much better competition. I think he's more durable. He's seen a second round, a third round. I think there's a lot of reasons to like Marquez, but this line isn't really moving as much as I thought it would. So I don't know. I like Marquez here. I'm fairly confident, but Zach Reese, if he's winning this fight, I think it's going to be like a meme type finish where either he lands a big shot on the feet or like an armbar, like something. If Zach Reese wins, I think it's going to be something stupid that happens, and it could happen. It's a Julian Marquez fight, so I like Marquez inside the distance. I like violence here a lot, but the books are telling you that as well. The fight doesn't get a decision is now minus 600, and I think that's for a reason. Both guys have a 100% finish rate. But yeah, I think somebody's getting served here. I think it's going to be Reese being the one getting served in this one. All right. So yeah, we're both on Marquez there. I don't mind those 2-3. Marquez has every single finish has been in the second or third round thus far in the UFC. Pepe saying I'm feeling a little crazy today. Denise Gomes round 3 sub. I think that's so live, dude. I think it's very live. She attempts a lot of submissions. I think she's attempt 4 in the UFC. She's now a brown belt. She's been working on the jiu-jitsu. Moura is going to be getting takedowns. I think it's either going to hit. I think the sub's either going to hit. At the very least, I think Denise Gomes is going to attempt some submissions. And I haven't checked the odds on the 2-3 sub, but I'm assuming they're just astronomical. Let's see. Brady was seeing the future like that. So Raven. Yeah, it was interesting. Marquez has a terrible beard. No, he does. He has a good beard. And you had to take care of some maintenance. Agreed. Now that is just not true. D'Amato scorecard. That's not true. Let's see what else you guys got in here. Marquez should be the favorite. Yeah, I think he should be the bigger favorite, which I don't know. It's kind of sketching me out a little bit. Let's see. Henry liking Reese. It's a bookie card. Could be. I hope not, but it could be. I'm playing violence in this fight. Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with some violence there. Stamann under 1.5 rounds versus Lapis. It all comes down to the game plan of Stamann. If he wants 2 takedowns, he can get 2 takedowns, but he hasn't really wrestled a lot as of late. Reese is fragile. Agreed. Plus 5,000 and plus 6,500, but right now. But round 3 was plus 8,000 last night. Jeez. And then subs on the Gomes 3 sub as well. I think it's in play. I expect a lot of finishes today. I hope so. We didn't get many last week. And Pepe's on the Marquez plus 112. Geez, yeah. I mean, I would love a plus money Marquez in the under 1.5. I think both those probably do come through. All right. And by the way, I did not do a comment of the week. I've been trying to do a comment of the week each week, a comment that deserved to be a comment of the week. This week, there weren't any, comments that really stuck out. There were some nice comments this week. I enjoyed all the comments, but there wasn't really one that I thought deserved comment of the week until I read this. Gamblestein, congratulations. You got comment of the week. Love to see it. He says, Baeza loses. He gets cut. I think he wins. Gamblestein, comment of the week. Second ever. Congratulations, Gamblestein. Shout out to you. I love it. Love it. If Reese wins a decision, I'm going to need a couch to crash on. If Reese wins it, I don't know what a Reese decision looks like unless can you win minutes off your back? I don't know. I don't know. I see Reese winning. If he wins it, it better be inside the distance. Julian, both guys never won a decision. When is the first fight? In about an hour and 8 minutes. Fight doesn't start round 2. Not a terrible look, just due to the fact that Reese has not seen a round 2. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Bruno Ferreira going against Dustin Stoltzfus. TV, I will kick it to you. I'm not going to leave the room this time. I'm good to go. So I'm going to sit here and listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, listen. In this fight, I think Dustin Stoltzfus had the absolute fortune of being able to fight a guy like Puna Soriano in his last fight. This time, he doesn't have the benefit of fighting Puna Soriano in this fight. It's actually Bruno Ferreira. This is a guy that people were telling me that Phil Hawes, unless he was getting knocked out, like Phil Hawes was just going to style on this guy, was way more skilled than Bruno Ferreira. What guy have they been watching? This is someone that switches stances cleanly through his combinations. He's got some defensive wherewithal. I mean, it was a pretty fluky finish in general. Like the caught kick, his head hits the back of the mat, and like Ruzaboyev's arms were long enough to just like plaster his face there. Any ref's going to stop that. Those type of ground and pounds that are landing. But like to get there, a little bit fluky. Like Dustin Stoltzfus, I don't think he's going to be able to just go ahead and wrestle this guy. Try to guess. Dustin's had his own gas issues, but ultimately, I don't even think we get that far. I got a round 1, round 2 Ferreira, -1. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did round 1, round 2 knockout at plus 100, I believe, on FanDuel. There we go.
All right. So Ferreira KO 1 or 2 plus 100. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I had another pass, and I feel like I've said that on this entire show, if I had another pass, I probably would be passing on this fight, but I'm just going to go with Bruno Ferreira round 1. Hard Rock has it plus 220, which is by far the best price out there. I think the most likely scenario is Bruno Ferreira going out there and getting the first round knockout. Pretty much all of his knockouts, but I think maybe 2 have come in the first round. And yeah, this guy has a ton of power. Dustin Stoltzfus, I think he is durable, but he's very hittable. And Bruno Ferreira hits like a truck. So I'm going to be looking at this fight from a live bet standpoint. I feel like if Stoltzfus can survive maybe these first 5 to 7.5 minutes, maybe Stoltzfus can maybe take over down the stretch. But I think Ferreira probably does get him out of there early. And at plus 220, I don't love it, but I also don't hate it, and I also want to pass on the next fight even more. So yeah, I'm going to be taking the round 1 Ferreira. No method. Just round 1 plus 220. Not the worst look in the world, I think. Elijah Wan taking the under. Yeah, don't mind the under. Ferreira's never been over in his entire career. So what it was the under 1.5 minus 120. I don't hate it. The only reason I don't love it, though, the under 1, because I'm not sure Stoltzfus is finishing Ferreira under 1.5. I feel like if it does finish under 1.5, it's Ferreira getting the finish. Let's see. Thoughts on Denise Gomes plus 3.5 minus 105. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. I never hear more excuses for a fighter when they're minus 300. Yeah, he's a big favorite. It's tough to lay this price tag on Ferreira when, in my opinion, he's kind of KO or bust. But I think that KO probably does happen. We got Uncle Weezy saying Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week is Bruno Ferreira looking for an early finish from Bruno here. And yeah, maybe there's going to be some ass hair. Maybe he shaves the very hairy ass of Dustin Stoltzfus. I mean, look at Dustin Stoltzfus. You can just look at him and tell he's a very, very hairy man. Stoltzfus by decision, which is probably some crazy odds considering the fight doesn't go like minus 450. Can't even pull it up because fight odds is sucking. But yeah, Stoltzfus by decision plus 600. Plus 600. Sneaky. Eduardo looked like death on the scale. Yeah, she didn't look great. Bruno in under 0.5 rounds. You're thinking a finish in the first 2.5 minutes. 13 likes away from 100 likes. Yeah, guys, like the video. Smash that like button, just like Keith Peterson is smashing down some Coors Lights right now. He's probably what, TB, maybe six beers deep. It's 4:00.
Listen, I just got to say, last week, it was about, I don't know, maybe a little earlier in the afternoon. Me and Guru are down by Prudential Center at the Fan Experience. And on the street by the Halal card, we see one and only Keith Peterson. Now, you got to keep in mind, this is a little earlier in the day, maybe around 2, 3 o'clock. But I can actually verify for the people, he did not smell like beer, alcohol, or cigarettes at that exact juncture. So I know it's unbelievable, but he had plenty of time to get some in before the event started. He could have just been waking up at that moment when we saw him. So could have been just looking for his first brew of the day. So I'm just saying he's probably about 5 deep by this point.
Are you sure that was Keith Peterson or was that Pete Keterson? Because there's no way.
You make a good point.
Yeah, that must have been Pete Keterson, his evil twin. That's sober and has been sober for years now. Because the Keith Peterson I know is definitely not sober with some of the decisions he's making in the cage. It's terrible decisions. Yeah, I mean, I always believe TB, but that's one of the wildest stories I've ever heard. Sober Keith Peterson, I just can't imagine it. But if he is telling the truth, that is it's shocking. It's shocking. A shout out to Pete Keterson, the sober one. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Rosas Jr. going against Ricky Turcios. We got Rosas Jr. open up minus 250, currently minus 233. Ricky Turcios open up plus 200, currently plus 198. We'll start with UTB. What are you liking for this fight here?
I'm going to go ahead and say that Rosas is probably going to have a lot of control in this fight, but I mean, Turcios is hard to put away. So I'm going to lean towards maybe Rosas doesn't have quite the electric performance that he want, but I'll take a little round 3 decision action. And I think plus 145, it's a pretty solid price. I mean, he couldn't quite put away a guy like Mando Gutierrez. And I know Turcios kind of sucks and he's probably, he does the Macy Barber method of striking from 500 feet away in the octagon, and he's not necessarily landing a lot of punches. Yeah, so that's why I think Rosas is probably going to end up being safe. Like, this is also a guy that got taken down 7 times by Kevin Natividad. So I don't necessarily have the greatest of outlooks for a Mr. Turcios. So Brady, what do you got? Because I'll take Raul Rosas, round 3 decision, plus 145.
Round 3 decision. Plus 145? Yes. All right. So round 3 decision plus 145 there. Sorry, I was.
That's okay.
That's Sepe says Sepe Pilvia is also sober. I love it. I love it. Brady jumping into this one late. Moura vowed that she would run through Gomes and said she's wanting to use her hands more in this fight. Shouldn't that mean Gomes will win by KO? Thanks and happy fight day. I hope Moura does try to do that, because if she does try to do that, I think she does get knocked out. Her chin's like she's begging to be knocked out. So I doubt she's going to do that. But yeah, if she does, I think she could be in trouble. Jackie's saying, do I have time to beat the comment of the week? Yes, you have time to beat the comment of the week. And the comment of the week is subject to change. But right now, my guy Gamblestein holds comment of the week. So yeah, for me, I'm passing on this fight. I like Raul Rosas Jr. to win. I just don't know how he wins. I'm kind of with UTB and thinking maybe decision makes a lot of sense. I was thinking maybe decision plus 200. But I think he could win by any method. I think he could win by sub. I think he could win maybe like a positional TKO, decision, obviously. And I don't want to give out minus 233 best price on the show. So I'm going to pass on this one. And yeah, I think Rosas Jr. does go out there and win though. Weston Wilson going to win next week. Next week is awesome. We have Weston Wilson. Poor Weston Wilson. Why are they letting him back in there? Like, who's in charge of that? Because whoever's in charge of letting that guy back in there should not only be fired, but probably be prosecuted and put in jail, because Weston Wilson should not be fighting anymore. So is Weston? No, he's not going to win next week. I guess a better question would be: Is Weston Wilson going to end up in a hospital next week? And he might, because he's fighting Jekka, who's probably going to knock him out in the first round. And then next week we also have Jimmy the Brick Flick. Next week is going to be a fun card. I'm really looking forward to next week. Gamble bet Turcios. Come on. DFS, would you prefer going Marquez, Marcos, or Moises / Reyes dos Santos in DraftKings or for DFS? Marquez. I like Marquez a lot. I would go Marquez, and then I'd go probably Marquez and Moises, I think is what you're at. Yeah, I'd go Marcus and Moises, I think. Let's see. Hope I can make it to the finish line. I've never won anything ever, but yeah, you won Comment of the Week, which is a very special honor. There's only been 2 comments of the week, and you are the second one, Gamble. So you gotta love it. Gotta love it. Poor Weston Wilson, that poor man. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame what they're doing to Weston Wilson. I think somebody needs to be held accountable. They can't keep letting this happen. They can't keep putting Weston Wilson in there, hurting this man. It's tough to watch, and we shouldn't stand for it. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to watch Jekka punt his head into the third row. Poor Weston Wilson. Poor Weston Wilson.
Poor man.
Yeah, poor Weston Wilson. All right, let's move on. We have the co-main event. Dustin Jacobe going against Dominic Reyes, and I will kick this one off. And do I have another pass? If I do, I'm using it here. I do. So I'm using up my 4th and final pass on this fight. I have no idea what to do here. I have no idea what to do, because if we were getting the best version of Dominic Reyes or anywhere near the best version, I would be smashing him from a betting perspective. I'd be smashing him. But I'm not sure we're getting the best version of Dominic Reyes at all. I feel like we could be seeing a completely washed, completely diminished version of Dominic Reyes. He's on a 4-fight skid. He hasn't fought in a while at this point. Apparently, he's been dealing with like some major health issues on this layoff as well. I am sketched out by this fight. So I don't know. I don't know where Dominic Reyes is at. If Dominic Reyes is not a washed bum, I think he's so live in this fight. But the problem is, I think he might be a washed bum at this point. So I'm going to pass here. Nothing really sticking out. These overs have gotten smashed throughout the week. TB, you have to bet on this fight. I'm curious to hear what you cooked up for this one, because I have no clue. No clue.
I dug deep here, and it all started with the Instagram scouting. And I'm like, wow, Dom Reyes is working with a lot of wrestlers. Curtis Blades. Then he's at like another like, I don't know if it was AKA or whatever, but he's at another he's in another wrestling room putting in some work. I don't think it was AKA. I'm crazy, but anyways, I'm starting to put some things together. I'm like, in the Yuri Prochazka fight, that was another thing that we said, like, he's got an advantage if he wants to avoid some nonsense on the feet. He might use some of his takedowns. So this morning, I'm like, you know what? Let's look at some deep props here. And I was like, what's the takedown prop? Over half a takedown. It was plus 200. And I was like, ooh, that's nice. I was like, let me come back to that. It's fucking plus 120 right now. So not quite the juiciness that I originally was hoping to give to you guys, but I think Dom Reyes he said in his interview, he's like, I'm not going for like the craziest knockout victory anymore. I just got to do whatever it takes to win the fight. And to me, it's just screaming, this guy knows that he has a gigantic chin issue. And I expect him on a takedown at some point in the first round. And Dustin Jacobe, I mean, this guy's actually been knocked down more times than Dominic Reyes in his UFC run. And that's just including his recent part of the UFC run. Dustin Jacoby's the older guy. Dustin Jacoby's the smaller guy. Dustin Jacobe it's been a run of disappointment, losing 3 out of his last 4. So I really think that if there was a fight that Dom Reyes was going to win, it would be this one. But instead of going completely off the rails with the plus 200 to win the fight here, I will take a plus 120 on him to at least land one takedown and at least cash a bet for me. And then I don't have to worry if he gets knocked out like 10 seconds later, you know. But I did also bet Reyes a plus 200. So all small, but I think that this is what, if you want to win a bet on this fight without going like, I don't know. I went granular, baby. We got down deep. So I hope you guys like it.
All right. So just needs one takedown, Dominic Reyes. Just one takedown. We'll see, man. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this one. I will have no money on this fight here. Brady would smash Prime Reyes confirmed. Yes, I would from a betting perspective. Jacobe KO round 1. Yeah, if Dominic Reyes is completely washed, completely has nothing left, he probably does get knocked down round 1, but I don't know. Thanks for the votes. Shout out to Gamblestein again. Comment of the week. Huge honor. I maybe should make a trophy for comment of the week. Give some trophies out. Reyes' chin is gone. I think Jacobe will find it. Smashing Dom Reyes from a betting perspective. Of course. Reyes is such booty at this point. Hasn't looked great. Rumor has it Reyes was knocked out from his shadow while boxing. Yeah, I mean those shadows, they can hit hard. So I don't. It could happen. Let's see. All right, this is the OSP. Oh, wrong comment. This is the OSP price spot. Maybe it is. I don't know. I can't get there. I got the over 2.5 at plus 175. Is that what sharp betting feels? Yeah, you smashed the line, man. I saw the over there as well, plus 175. I thought it was a solid bet. I just didn't really want to put any money on this fight. But yeah, I think the over, especially at plus 175, made sense. At plus 100, I don't really want to get there. All right, and what do you think about Rob Rosa's money line and the over 1.5? I know TB likes the round 3 decision. I don't mind that. Just have to worry about the round 1 sub, but I think decisions most likely. I don't mind that. Reyes beat John Jones, then got knocked out 4 times in a row. Actually, kind of sad. I got Jacobe KO. It is sad. It is very sad. And does Jacobe go over 96.5 fantasy points on DK? I would lean towards the under here, especially if Reyes does come here with the wrestling game plan. But with that said, I mean, if it's a first round knockout, he could hit the over. All right, let's move on to the main event. We have Nassourdine Imavov going against Jared Cannonier. Imavov opened up minus 115, currently minus 126. Jared Cannonier opened up minus 115, currently plus 106. Not a ton of line movement throughout the week. I think there's a lot of people on both sides here, and I think it's a competitive fight. TB, what are you liking for this main event?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Nassourdine Imavov. Originally coming into the tape, I was thinking I'd be on the Cannonier side and that I could get a little short dog money here, but I can't help but notice that anytime Cannonier is getting touched cleanly, I mean, he doesn't react well to it, and he's able to generally keep guys off of him with the power, with the leg kicks. But I think Imavov is actually facing a guy here that's not going to dig into the clinch and drain the cardio. He's not. I know like Cannonier was able to do a little bit of stuff like walking down a little bit of Sean Strickland, but I think Imavov, it's like a styles make fights type of thing, and I think his straight shots down the middle and his ability to switch stances, use his own calf kicks, and even to mix in a little bit of the wrestling here, I think he's going to be able to do what it takes to get Cannonier, if not out of there, but at least get to a decision and win that. I think he's not the most prolific finisher, but when he does it, it's early. And Cannonier, I mean, that guy has been hurt or wobbled in just about every fight, and you watch Marvin Vettori like have this guy seriously wobbled and then go ahead to get absolutely obliterated the rest of the fight. It's just Vettori's a blockhead. He's going to come forward. He's going to eat the shots coming in, and he has no reach advantage. Imavov is gigantic. Like when you watch these two guys face off, I mean, Cannonier's got a long way to go to get there. I know the reach kind of matches up, but Cannonier a bit more of the looping shots variety. And I think Imavov's straight punches and ability to mix in some clinch and takedowns are going to be, it's keeping me from playing an over here. So I'm just doing the Imavov money line. Hard Rock was so kind to boost it to plus 105 for me, but I understand if we can't do that, and I got to take like the minus 120,
I don't know. I guess if you want to do it, you can. What they boost it
No,
to?
they
I mean,
boosted it to plus 105. That's not really that cool. I mean, I'll take the line that's most readily available. I don't think everyone's got access to Hard Rock. So
let's see.
if you do have it, go bet it. I think it makes sense, you know?
Minus 120. That
Yeah.
works.
That's what I put on Bet MMA because I knew they were going to be assholes. So who cares?
Yeah. I'm taking, and this is actually a prop that somebody said earlier in the stream, and it's the fight ends by split. And I was expecting like not this good of a price, but it's plus 550. Like this fight, even if it's not a split, even if Imavov wins this fight 50-45, like Sal D'Amato is going to come the other way with a Cannonier 48-47. So yeah, even if this fight isn't a split, like these 5-round fights, these judges have been terrible. Like these scorecards have been awful. I think a split is very much in play. I think the judges struggle to stay awake for 25 minutes. And I do like this fight to go to decision. I do like this fight to go over. I think both guys are very tough. Imavov's very tough. Cannonier, even at 40 years old, very tough. I think we see 25 minutes. And I think a split is seriously in play. And plus 550 kind of surprised me. So looking to win 5.5 units there on this main event. I think it's a close fight. I think that, Imavov is going to have a lot of success early. I think he's going to have a big speed advantage, striking advantage early. But I think as the fight goes on, Imavov might slow down a bit. Cannonier can maybe take over down the stretch. But yeah, I think it's going to look pretty close here personally. And split at plus 550 it's calling my name. So going with the split at plus 550, you are going with Imavov money line minus 120. And hopefully we can both hit there. Yep, Cannonier is 40 years old. Can't believe it. 40 years old. If it does go longer in the fight, I favor Cannonier. I agree. I don't think, Imavov's like a death gas or nothing like that, but I do think he slows down a little bit. Can't remember the last 5-round middleweight fight that ended inside the distance. I can't either. I really can't. Was it Adesanya Costa, or it can't be that long ago? I can't remember the last middleweight fight that finished. Can you, TB, off the top of your head? When's the last middleweight fight that finished 5 rounds?
No, I was literally just talking with Guru this week about how it's kind of like an auto play spot. So, but which then, now that we've all caught on to it, this is where the trend reverses right? and hits us in the face. So I didn't do it. I'm just taking Imavov. That's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Which is crazy. Like, I can't even think. I can't. Oh, yes. So Strickland versus Abus. Okay, that was the last.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's it.
There we go. But that's like it. that's like it. Cannonier by buggy choke. Okay. Book it. Imavov by sub. I've heard a couple people talking about that sub there. It's a very nicely matched. It's a good card. I like this card.
Yeah,
I like this card. Prayer Adesanya was another one there. And it's time to get back to this mean. We shall see. All right, so TB, what we'll do here is going to go over these best bets, make sure we have everything correct, and we're going to give our best bet for the entire card. If you hit your best bet, your profit is going to double. So say, for example, your best bet is Andrea Lee by decision. Instead of getting 1.2 units, you're going to get 2.4. So I'm taking Amanda inside the distance to kick it off, plus 155. Cody Stamann point spread. Minus 150, the Moura Gomes under 2.5, minus 108. Passing on the Marcos fight. The Lee fight ends in split decision, plus 250. Passing on the Brad Katona fight. I'm taking the Prates fight, won't start round 3, minus 129. Klein Moises fight doesn't go, minus 110. Sorano KO1, plus 700. Marquez inside the distance, plus 110. Bruno Ferreira, round 1, plus 220. Passing on the Rosas fight and the Jacobe fight. And then Imavov's fight ends in split decision, plus 550. And I'm going to take exactly that. I'm going to take the fight ends by split decision. I'm going to put it in the hands of these crooked, corrupt judges that are completely terrible. And I'm hoping one of the judges just messes it up, which I think there's a very good chance that happens. So I'm looking for one of these judges to come out there and put up a crooked, corrupt scorecard like they typically do. So looking for, 11 units here if I hit this, which I definitely need. So taking this for my best bet. TB, you are taking the Amanda fight doesn't go the distance, plus 108. Cody Stamann by decision, plus 350. Passing on the Moura fight, you're taking John Castaneda money line, plus 120. Andrea Lee decision, plus 120. Passing on the Katona, Prates, and Klein fights, you're taking Baeza round 3 decision, plus 230. Marquez inside the distance, plus 110. Ferreira KO 1-2, plus 100. Rosas Jr. round 3 decision, plus 145. Reyes more than 0.5 takedowns. And that was, what was the line on that?
That was plus 120.
And then Imavov, money line -120. Does all that look correct? And if so, what is your best bet for the card?
Yes, we're going for the gold. Cody Stamann decision. Let's have a good time.
For a potential 7 units there. So there we have it. Thank you all so much for watching. Had a lot to talk about. 14 fights is a ton, but going to kick it to TB. TB, let the people know where they can find you.
Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate all you guys tuning in pre-fight here for UFC Louisville. Shout out to Brady for running this year-long contest. Absolutely fun, amazing time. Catch me, Chronic Combat Conversations, live every Wednesday, 8 p.m. EST with Guru Scouting MMA and myself, and also the best bets, best guests, always free picks. Make sure you guys are checking us out. We'd love to have a good time on top of giving you some good analysis, good breakdowns. I'm at least 60% all time on my general pick percentage. So even if my bets aren't hitting, I like to steer you in the right direction, at least of how I think the fights are going to be playing out. So yeah, check out the leaderboard, because a couple of those Chronic Combat boys are also in the top 5 these days. So just saying, once Couch Warrior, it kicks in, like there's TB right at number 5, right? And then, who's at number 2? That's Guru Scout and MMA.
Yeah,
so
doing good.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. It's always a good time.
Yep, 138 in first right now. Guru in second. And yeah, a lot of people getting their asses shaved, including me. So that turns around tonight there. So yeah, looking forward to this card. Best of luck, everybody, for UFC Louisville. Like on your way out, subscribe, and enjoy the fights, guys. We'll see you later.